Welcome, everyone, to the Scaling Smart podcast, where we bring together industry leaders, entrepreneurs, and innovators to discuss their key insight strategies and experiences that have driven success both for themselves and their customers. I'm Billy Mitchell, your host, and today I'm excited to introduce a special guest, Omer Jamal, founder of YourAtlas.com, which is an AI-powered revenue engine that transforms paid ad clicks into qualified appointments within 60 seconds using voice AI, SMS, and chat. Omer, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for having me, Billy. Really appreciate it. I'm very well. Thank you for asking me. Hope you're doing well as well.
I am. It's been a wonderful day. A little bit of rain over here in Texas, which never hurts, but it's funny. You walk outside and it's like, am I sweating or am I getting rained on? Because the humidity is so bad. But that's okay. I digress. Well, as a reminder to you, as well as the rest of our audience, we break this up into three primary segments. We're going to talk about you and your organization. I want to get to know kind of how you got to where you're at, and then what are you guys doing? We want to talk about your ideal client profile. So who are you servicing? How are you servicing them? And then the industry. I like to kind of talk about your competition. Where are things going? You know, I think we used to be able to say in the next 5 to 10 years. I think it's laughable now. Where are you going in the next 1 to 3 years? And then finally, growth and scale. What's working, what's not working, what kind of marketing and sales and partnerships are you using to grow? So with that, let's dive into you, if you don't mind, from an elevator pitch perspective, maybe in 90 seconds or 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever works best for you. Tell us a little bit about you, your organization, what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So Atlas is really, and like you said, it's an AI revenue engine that primarily works with local businesses, right? If you think about what local businesses do, whenever they think about growing their business, they always think about hiring new people. So Atlas is that AI revenue engine that's that performance layer on top of your marketing and sales, so to speak, that essentially clones your revenue team. And that's what it's all about, right? So how do you find more efficiencies? How do you grow faster and cut back on sort of costs? I myself am a serial tech entrepreneur. You know, I've exited 2 businesses, so I've been building an AI since 2017 or so. Love traveling, love playing sports, and have a mission in life to help 10,000 kids go to school. So see a big opportunity with AI helping businesses, and super excited to be here and share our story today.
That's awesome. And I want to dive into the mission there in just a second. But as a point of kind of transparency for everybody, before getting on this podcast recording with you, I actually went and filled out the form and, immediately got a call from the revenue generating team, the AI team. And it was seamless. It was clear. It was like talking to a real person, setting up the appointment, and thought it was pretty impressive. So my understanding, and just let's dive for a second into this. I own a paid ads team, or paid ads company rather, and we drive traffic for our customers, obviously trying to convert, generate revenue, etc. So the goal is that they get to the site and then they fill out a form. Do they submit that they want to be contacted, and then it's instantaneous? Walk us through the process from when they get to the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So we're all about speed to lead, right? Because that's where fortunes are really won. So if you get back to a lead, there was a Harvard Business Review study that was done which said that if you don't get back to a lead within 5 minutes or less, you lose 80% chance of closing that lead. So our entire mantra, Billy, is to get back to leads within 60 seconds or less, right? And that's really what we're trying to prioritize. So as soon as you fill out any form, right, this could be a Facebook form, website form, wherever on the internet, it's through a workflow automation. You connect to Atlas, and Atlas will call that lead within 60 seconds or less to qualify that lead for you, transfer that call, book appointments. You can customize these agents. You can get them to persuade the client as it is that you please to want to.
That's incredible. I can definitely see the scalable value to that, which would be wonderful. All right, so just for a second, let's divert. I want to go back to that mission, because I'm all about business for mission, right? Working for a reason, especially or even when it doesn't necessarily have to correlate to the work we're doing, right? We're building something because it can provide revenue, or resources for the mission here. So you've said this a couple times. Looks like you're trying to get education available to 10,000 students, 10,000 kids. First of all, why that? Which I think is honorable in itself, but how'd you get to that point?
Yeah.
And what does that actually look like? Where are you at? How can we help you?
Yeah, that's excellent, Billy. So, I think why is that? I've sort of like read a bunch of books, followed a lot of people who, Zig Ziglars of the world, Tony Robbins of the world, who always tell you that you need a mission grander than you. Everyone has a unique purpose in life, and you need something external to you to contribute to society, so that one day you can look back and say that you left a legacy behind. So to me, that's the root stem of the why as to why it's something external. And, I believe in education. My grandfather was a professor. I think a lot of my own sort of self education, knowledge is power. Without knowledge, you can't get things done. So there's a lot of underprivileged people in this world. And I think giving them the opportunity just to have some sort of a basic schooling system, it gives them an opportunity to open up their mind and do things that AI and internet allows you to do, because you don't have that basic level understanding, which a lot of the world doesn't, basic level understanding of reading and writing English. Then you can't do a lot of things. So, it's something that I've traveled the world. I've been to more than 42 countries, so I've seen people all different types, and everybody sets a different benchmark. So. I'm a believer in humanity. I'm a believer in positivity, and I think that's my way of sort of giving back, which is why I sort of selected. I think that's the most impactful thing that I could do with my life. So I hope that answers your question. I think you had a
Yeah.
second one in there. You had a second one in there as well, like how far we've gotten. We've gotten to
Yeah.
25 kids so far. So this is from literally grade 1 to grade 12 education, which is nice.
Awesome.
I work with an organization who actually facilitates the build out and things of that nature. So we're still in early days, but we're on the right mission here.
That's awesome. And I love learning about that and hearing about that. A, getting to know you better. Also, B, I think, especially more of recent years, people want to support businesses that have good causes, right? It's not just a transaction. It's, as we mentioned earlier, it's transformational. It's relational. So I love that. Thanks for sharing that. Now back to kind of the business itself. Who's your ideal client? So obviously business owners would be, or small businesses I could see benefiting. I would assume businesses of all size, but who are you trying to contact? Who are you selling into? Walk us through a little bit of who you guys serve the best.
Yeah, small to medium sized businesses, 100%. Right. Anybody who sort of thinks about scale but hasn't figured out how to do that without people, we fit in with. We stay away from enterprise. We work with some mid market, but our sweet spot is 5 to 500 employees. You're just trying to look to get more dollars out of your ad spend. So that's really our sweet spot of clientele to work with.
Excellent. And from the okay, so actually that's interesting. Do you find more success with like a B2C service, B2B service? I would assume this really probably wouldn't be too much into like an e-com space. So what more specifically should we be thinking about when you're like, hey, that company right there is perfect?
Yeah, that's a great question. Anybody who has high volume of leads, so consumers, B2C companies work best. We work with the service industry quite a bit. So think about like home improvement services, right? Lawyers, any sort of professional services that you give, that you provide, and you have a high volume of leads when it comes to consumers. That's who our platform works exceptionally well with, essentially.
Okay, awesome. I think we should talk later. I've got a couple of customers who I think might be able to benefit from this. So that
Cool.
said, um, to me, I've here and there I've heard about organizations like yours. I wouldn't say that any have stood out or for any reason or another, but it's obviously with with the growth of AI and kind of this whole new industry, if you will. Um, Talk to us a little bit about your competition. How is there a lot of competition? What are you guys doing that stands out a little bit from everybody else?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what's funny with AI sort of coming about? There's a competitor everywhere. Software kind of reminds me of the restaurant industry, believe it or not, right? Like that's what software is turning into. That if you go to any city, you literally see like what 50 restaurants in a metropolitan sort of area, and you got to go pick one, and technically the restaurants are all competing with one another. So that's what's happening with software at a global stage, right? Any sort of AI company that you're building, it's hard to be one of one. To be quite candid with you, it used to be easier when I started my previous companies back in 2017. We were one of one. Literally, nobody was doing that. We were the pioneers. In this, we were the pioneers too. We kickstarted back in 2024, early 2024, late 2023. We were the pioneers of it. Today, you look at it, there's probably like I don't know 70 competitors. Y
Yeah.
Combinator does the same thing now too. They're funding a ton of companies. So how do you deal with it? How do you break free from that? To be quite candid with you, I think we're all figuring it out. I do not have a clear answer for that. How do you do that? But we've partnered with a large influencer in Dan Martell to help. He's a partner to our company. We're part of a portfolio company at Martell Ventures, so we're hoping to get some distribution to that and work exclusively with an audience there. And then it's all about just compounding, right? It's about, I don't think we're just another AI voice company. We added SMS, we added chat, we're doing an AI revenue engine. We're hearing a lot from people on the lead gen side, specifically on the paid ad clicks that you were talking about. So the idea is to sort of build a compounding machine of products, so to speak, that we can sort of build on top of. So yeah, that's a long answer, but short answer is haven't figured it out, learning, but these are the things that we're doing to try to move away from just trying to be one-on-one.
For sure. And that makes sense. And yes, I mean, even in my industry is in paid advertising and digital marketing. I like to say that if you have a laptop in a garage, you can start a company like mine. So now I have to figure out how am I different? What am I doing differently? And so it's a challenge no matter what. So
Yeah.
good
I
on
think
you
I
for
think
working through
human
it.
I think human interaction matters a lot too, right? Like in the age of AI, like anybody could run cold emails, anybody could run ads, but it's like the level of service that you'd get from somebody, that white glove sort of support and that relationship building. I think human interaction and real life experiences matter a lot now, are going to
Yeah.
matter a lot more over the next 2 to 10 years, so to speak.
Ironically enough, I think you're absolutely right. As we pull that out of the equation, I think people yearn for it. So it's a balance, using the AI and the tech to enhance our lives while still maintaining the touch, right? The
Yeah,
human
yeah. Like
element to it. So
look at what Zoom did to us, right? It made everything virtual.
wild.
We're doing a podcast Zoom now, which if you were to
Yep.
tell me like 7 to 8 years ago, you'd be like, "What? No, that's awkward."
Yeah.
Uh, but
That
uh,
is, you're so right, actually. It is funny that you'd say that because I remember a year ago, 2 years ago, thinking, man, podcast quality is just like people sitting in their bedroom now. Like it's so weird, right? Trailblazer, Joe Rogan, he's got his cool setup, and he's got his awesome office and stuff, and so do all these other guys. But now it's like, hey, if you got a bedroom and a mic, you're good to go. So it is really interesting the evolution.
yeah.
Um, that technology's done for us. So, all right. So kind of that, I'm going to ask you go get your crystal ball. What is that 3 to 5 years, 1 to 3 years? What does that look like? How are we evolving? I mean, it's evolved so fast already. You can have an AI machine call me and interact with me in a matter of seconds and set an appointment for you.
Yeah.
That's insane. So what are we looking at the next 3 years?
Yeah, the speed at which things are moving is just crazy fast in here. I mean, like you said, it does exactly that, right? Lead comes in, it fills out the form, AI agent calls, qualifies, books it in your calendar. So literally what like a lead qualifier, appointment setter, SDR would do, it does for you. I think AI is just getting better and better, right? And the speed at which AI is moving is just drastic. So, to me, if you're not leveraging AI and if it's not engraved in your business, you're really falling behind the curve and missing out. So, I recommend everybody to spend a lot of time with AI. And it's all about just like compounding different things of AI within the platform itself. So as the technology evolves, it's superhuman realistic, but I think it's going to be right now. It's very good at tier one inquiries, but it could possibly do tier two and tier three as we progress forward.
Yeah, yeah, I can only imagine that the quality of the the interaction, the speed of the interaction, up to at some point, the AI will be able to create the contract and close me without, ironically, the human element to it. Maybe that's on the back end, but
Yeah.
I can see that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into growth and sales or growth and scale. How are you growing? Obviously, you've got the influencer element to it that is popular and gonna be very successful for you. But what kind of marketing channels have you used? What kind of growth tactics have you deployed? What's worked? Equally as important, what hasn't worked? Um, and then I would say also, have you considered or what's your philosophy with partnerships, both channel partnerships and just referral partnerships?
Yeah, 100%. So I think we're super bullish on partnerships. And I think that's a channel that's sort of working super well for us. The partnership that we did with the influencers is an example of that. And we want to explore more, right? Both channel and partner type, because I think the network effects of that are phenomenal and you can create win-win that work for everybody. So big believer in those. Haven't really, like, a lot of it has sort of just come from organic referrals and whatnot. We starting to dabble a little bit in paid. We haven't given it a full efforts, but that's some effort that we're sort of doing to scale up. We're not there just yet.
Okay. Um, when it comes to partnerships or referral partnerships, what do you think is a successful partnership? How are you working together? Um, and I suppose what kind of partnerships are you looking into?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's like a cookie cutter approach to it, right? I think when it comes to like partnerships, like agencies and channel partners of that sort that might already service existing type customers. One of our largest investor runs The Hot, which is a massive agency. I don't know if you've heard of it, but
Hmm.
they're thinking about developing AI and putting AI as a service for like their end clients. So we're giving them obviously their exclusive partner to us, a wholesale partnership sort of rates, things of that nature, the opportunity to white label the platform itself, and then solve this speed to lead sort of use case for their end client. So that's just one example, right? The influencer one, obviously, we've mentioned a little bit as well, a little bit earlier. I think that's the cool thing about partnerships that you can kind of interact with people and figure out what's best for both parties and create a win-win scenario. So, as the leader of Atlas, I'm always on the hunt for good partnerships with good people that can establish a long-term relationships that can sort of be win-win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of partnerships. I would love to and do, grow my organizations via partnerships as well. I think being able to work at, this type of level and say, hey, we've got this book of business, you've got that book of business. Let's see what we can do for each other. I mean, it's a great way to grow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sweet. All right, man. Well, I know you're on a tight schedule, so I want to kind of fast forward into the final stage here. I didn't prep you on any of this, but we do have a lightning round. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You just say the first thing that comes to your mind. No pressure, but you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. First one's an easy one. All right, coffee or tea?
T.
All right. What's one tool or system you rely on to keep your organization running smoothly?
Slack. Lots of talking on Slack.
Yep. We're in the same boat. It's a constant. In fact, I've got yeah, like 30 unread messages. All right, favorite book, podcast, or resource that's influenced you?
Yeah, I really like the book Zero to One by Peter Thiel.
Peter
It's been a
Thiel.
fantastic book. If I could toss another book, it's Driven by Robert Herjavec, which I thought was very influential in my life.
Very cool. I'm going to check Driven out. I have 0 to 1. You're the second person today to answer with 0 to 1, so that's good.
Well, there you
I
go.
think the
I'm glad
universe
I
is
gave
telling me something.
I'm glad I gave the second one too. Then,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So a couple more questions. What's one bucket list item you've already checked off?
one scuba diving. Right, I wanted to do scuba
Nice.
diving, so I did scuba diving in Australia at the Great Barrier Reef. That was a fantastic experience.
Man, that sounds horrible. I'm really sorry you had to do that. All right. What's one goal you're still working on?
Helping 10,000 kids go to school. So, right where we
Easy one.
started.
Easy one. Yep, I
Yeah.
teed that one up for you. All right, final question. You can spend a couple seconds on this one, but what's one of the biggest challenges you've faced and how has it shaped you or how you approach business?
Yeah, I think when it comes to business, Elon Musk says it right. When you're trying to start a startup, it's really it's like flying down a plane and then chewing glass on the way down, right? So there's all these challenges you run into, whether it's hiring the right people, whether it's building the right product, whether it's actually getting customers that see the message of your product and getting in front of them. So you see a variety of things that sort of come in, and it's hard, it's not easy, but there's beauty behind the madness, and it's something that just keeps you rolling. So if you're cut from the right cloth, I always say just do it, right? Get your feet back in and play the game, because entrepreneurship, even with its challenges, it has a lot of fun associated with it. So I'm a big proponent. It's my third company that I'm building, and I wouldn't know what to do without it. I tried the whole travel, hang out at the beach thing. I just kind of got bored and tired, so get back to the game. So I kind of one of those. I'm kind of addicted, and I like the challenges, and I like problem
Yeah.
solving, and that's what drives me.
Good. I love it. Well, this has been wonderful. And so finally, Omer, if people would like to get a hold of you, what's one of the best ways to do that?
Yeah, so they could just reach out to youratlas.com, test it out live, or follow me on LinkedIn, Omer Jamal.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for your time. I have really enjoyed our conversation. For everybody else, this is a wrap of this episode of Scaling Smart. I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. I want to thank you for tuning in to the Scaling Smart podcast, where we have conversations with real people who have real stories, who have learned how to scale smart.